started going in his younger years. Always wished it would be his life.
Hey guys, as you can see, there's a fair bit of snow on the ground here. Not the greatest boating weather. I'm just doing some last minute projects on the boat, just tying up some loose ends here. It's late November here in Ontario, Canada. So just wanted to make this video to touch on a few things. A couple videos ago we posted a video, and I'll put a link up there, but we posted a video just about our thought process on how we were comfortable running our generator overnight to run our air conditioners. And it got quite a bit of reaction on social media, some positive and quite a bit of negative. So I just wanted to make this video just to clarify a few things. And some people reached out with some very good ideas to make running a generator overnight even safer. Some ideas I hadn't thought about, and I wanted to just bring those to people's attention so that they can be safe when they're running the generators. I figured we'd do it inside the boat. It's a little warmer in here, so so I just wanted to just touch on the generator stuff. So I guess the first thing is, whenever you put anything on the internet or in social media, you have to expect you're going to get some reaction, and some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be bad. I really enjoy the social experiment of putting stuff out there. First off, our videos are mainly just for us, friends and family, just so we can document our trips for later on. But there are some people out there that enjoy these videos and kind of use them as a bit of a resource. But I do enjoy the social experiment of some people's reactions, because you kind of get, especially with this episode, you kind of get the people where they're very, very, very conservative, they're very, very safe, by the book boaters. They're probably not the funnest people to hang out with, but that's their prerogative. They're very safe, and they just shudder at the fact of, oh my god, you're running a generator. And then you've got the people that, and those people are saying, oh my god, you're going to die, your kids are going to die. Then you have the people that are sort of in between, where their comments were basically, yeah, we have been running our generator overnight for 25 years, never had a problem, never had an issue, provided you take the necessary safety steps. And then, of course, you have the people that are just idiots, where they don't even watch the video, or they create a scenario that doesn't exist, and they just want to argue, or they just simply don't have a clue what they're talking about. So I found it quite interesting. What I like to gain from it is really because, again, I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm just kind of showing you sort of the trials and tribulations we have, and sort of how we overcome them. So it is great to get some feedback, some helpful feedback. Again, if you're open to it, there are some people out there that put some really good constructive comments in there, and you can learn from it. And that's what I wanted to share with today, was just some of those things that people, the feedback people gave, the useful information they gave that I didn't even think about. So that's why I thought it was important to make this video. So first and foremost, I just want to put it out there. For those that have been following our videos, they certainly know that I'm not an expert in boating or any of these things, and I do want to put that out there. When it comes to boating, there's a certain level of risk that comes with it, and again, I'm just kind of putting these videos out there more for our own interests, so that we have it documented, so that if there is something you see about a equipment we use, or a DIY, or about where we've gone, just remember, I'm not an expert. Do your own due diligence, and again, there's always a degree of risk, and I kind of look at it as you need to do your own due diligence to find out what level of risk you're comfortable with, and be safe out there. Okay? So let's talk about just sort of the general idea and our thought process, and I'll add the new pieces as we go. So we felt, or I felt, it was okay to run our generator all night when it's permissible, based on a few things. Now, some people just went off their rocker, taking that to believe that we run our generator in every Anchorage all night, all the time. Oh, we're terrible people. Of course we don't do that. One of the biggest things is when boating, you want to be considerate. You want to be considerate to other boaters in the Anchorage, sailboats when you're out there, personal watercraft. You just want to be considerate to everybody. So generally what we do is we look for secluded anchorage so that if the weather permits it and the situation permits it, we would run our generator overnight. Now, if there are people around, generally we try and position ourselves in such a way that we're not putting anyone in danger with our fumes, and we're not bothering people with our noise. If there is people close by, I'll turn the generator on and I'll even talk to them and just say, hey, can you hear our generator? Is it annoying? We're planning on maybe running it overnight. Do you think that would be a problem? And if they say, yes, it's a problem, then we say, okay, fine, we won't run it. We'll maybe just run it for an hour just to charge everything. Again, it's being considerate. The other thing is you want to gauge your anchorage. You know, I've been to some anchorages where they're blasting tunes till like 2 in the morning, having bonfires, having fun. These wouldn't be the conservative people, of course. These people, they don't ever have a problem with you running a generator all night, and sometimes they are too. So you kind of play it by ear. The second thing was, again, if you properly anchor your boat, your bow is always going to be into the wind. Your stern is always going to be with the wind. So with that understood, the exhaust, if you have your generator on the swim platform, the exhaust is always going to be blowing away from the boat. Now, if the wind changes, of course, your boat will swing and the exhaust gas will continue to be blowing away from your boat. Now, what somebody had brought to my attention, which I thought was important to add, is if you're in current or you're in an area with tides, and if the current or tide is going in the opposite direction of the wind, you might be in for some trouble. I didn't even consider that because in Ontario, Canada, here where we boat, there aren't any real tides to speak of, and we don't anchor in places with much of a current at all. So those situations wouldn't exist, but I thought they were important to note. Because again, we don't know everything. The other thing that they said was currents and tides can sometimes twist your anchor line, your rod or your chain around, and it might get stuck on a log or a rock or even on your keel, and that could stop your boat from turning with the wind. Again, didn't think of that because we don't have a keel. Okay. The other thing was, even if there's no wind, your generator is still expelling and propelling the fumes away from the boat. So even if there's no wind, I would be somewhat confident that the exhaust gas would dissipate. Now, somebody did mention, and again, I didn't think of this, is you have, most boats would have vents in their engine compartment to expel the exhaust fumes from your engines. And they raised the concern that, well, what if the wind blew back on you and your generator fumes could get into those vents? And I guess that could happen, but our engine compartment is sealed off from the cabin, so it's relatively airtight, so I wouldn't be that concerned. But we also have fans, exhaust fans, that you could run all night if you were concerned about that. The other thing was, and this gets me, you know, Chloe was swimming around the generator when I was doing the video, but the generator was never turned on. And people were losing their mind about, oh my God, how could you have your kids swimming around a running generator? Well, that's a valid concern if you allowed kids to swim around a running generator. We never allow the kids to swim around the generator when the generator's running. The other thing that I didn't even realize is these portable generators are not actually approved for marine use to do with grounding issues. So on land, they're grounded, but when you're on water, the grounding kind of works. My understanding is it works through the coring and the fiberglass within the boat. So that's kind of how your boat has a grounding mechanism. So you want to be careful of shock hazards with these generators. So one person explained to me that you can buy what's called a grounded bonded plug that you simply plug into your generator, and that now grounds your generator, so there's no issues there. Another weird situation that was presented was, oh my god, your kids are swimming around the swim platform. You should never allow that while your engines are running. Well, that situation doesn't exist with us. I don't know why you would ever let anyone swim around your swim platform with the engines running. To me, that just seems stupid. But what they were saying was when your engines are running, sometimes the exhaust gas can get caught under the swim platform, and that can cause problems, obviously. So I thought that was important to note, although, again, that situation doesn't arise with us. Another thing was, these people would, posted all these links. Oh my God, people die of carbon monoxide poisoning. And I'm sure they do. And it is a risk. But when you dive deeper into it, sometimes they don't have working carbon monoxide detectors. Sometimes in a few of the links I looked into, people were putting their generator in the cockpit. Again, I don't know why you would do that. The cockpit is basically, in most boats, surrounded by your fiberglass wall of the cockpit. If you have a camper top up, the exhaust fumes can't go anywhere. So again, I don't know why anyone would do that. We are quite comfortable putting our generator on the swim platform because you have the wall of the cockpit, which is higher than the generator. So there's your first barrier of stopping gas getting into the boat. We then usually have our camper top up at night, all zipped up, so that all the screening is covered. So although it's not a concrete barrier, it is a barrier of sorts for allowing fumes to get into the cockpit. This is where somebody raised a good point, and they said you should have a carbon monoxide detector in the cockpit. And I never thought of that, because when we're sleeping, we're going to be in the cabin, but that's brilliant because it's an early detection system. If the alarm is going off in the cockpit, that's waking you up before the gases can even get into the cabin. So I'm going to do that. And then, of course, when we're in the cabin, the doors shut tight, the windows and vents are all shut, so it's relatively, sealed. And then we have multiple, we have 2 carbon monoxide detectors, 2 working carbon monoxide detectors, and lots of extra batteries. And we felt comfortable with that. And again, the people that were dying, they sometimes didn't have working carbon monoxide detectors. Now this is where somebody made a great point. They said you should have a digital readout carbon monoxide detector on your boat. And that's brilliant as well, because before you go to bed, you can check it, and maybe there's some carbon monoxide in the cabin, but not enough to trigger the alarm. That would be, to me, I would look at that and say, okay, that's a problem. There's some gas getting in. I'm shutting the generator off. We're not risking it. So I'm going to implement that. I thought that was brilliant. Other people said, oh my God, you put the generator on the swim platform, it's going to be in the water, it's going to be a shock hazard. Well, no, not for us. on our boat, it has an existing swim platform, and that's where I put the generator. And then they have, somebody before us had put on a extended swim platform, and that's lower. That's about a step down, closer to the water. So we don't put it there. We put it on the original, so it's up out of the water. We also don't anchor and put ourselves in situations where it's going to be wavy enough where the waves would come up over the swim platform. It's just, you know, I don't risk that stuff. So yeah, so those were some of the advice that I got that I thought was good to share. Other people said that they use 12-volt fans in their boats overnight. We do have a 12-volt fan, but we don't have enough outlets for everyone to have one over their head in their bed. And I am a little weary of having the battery drained. But I can look into that. I'll have to look and see how much work it's going to be to install some new 12-volt outlets. So that's something. Even if you do drain your battery, you could have your starter battery to start the boat to then charge all your batteries or run the generator during the day. So that's something I'm going to look into. We do use these smaller lithium USB port rechargeable fans. The problem with them is, on full setting, they don't last the whole night. And if you're out for multiple days, well, they only last you one night. So now you're the guy running your generator for hours during the day when people are trying to enjoy the day to recharge all your stuff. And this is where I thought our plan was smart, and people might laugh at that, given the risk involved. But I've talked to people where when they're in their boat, even with the vents open, the hatches open, if they're in their cabin sleeping during the night, they can barely hear our generator, if at all. And then you take into account the waves slapping on the hull, that sort of thing. They barely hear our generator. So I thought I was being smart by charging, running your generator all night, charging all your batteries, charging all your fans and your equipment. So you're charging everything while people are sleeping. So you're not the guy that's running your generator all day in the Anchorage when people are trying to have fun. So, anyways, but that's how we roll. That's some of the stuff I've learned, and I thought it was important to share because I didn't know about it. I'm not the smartest person in boating, but I'm also not the dumbest, I would hope. And I think this is just stuff where if I didn't know about it, I'm sure there's other people that didn't know about it. And if it can help them make themselves safer, then I thought it would be important to share it. So once again, that's how and our thought process for running the generator overnight when everything permits it. Do your due diligence. Make sure you're comfortable with that risk, and I hope you guys found this this helpful. And if I've missed anything, please leave your suggestions in the comments, and I'm always looking for ways to learn. So, cheers, guys.